Scorpio, something powerful is happening. Love that touches the soul, money that changes your life, and long-awaited family healing are not arriving separately, they are converging all at once, and it begins on October 19th. You didn't land here by accident. There's no such thing as coincidence when your soul is ready for a shift. The reason you're watching this now is because a divine alignment is unfolding around you, and this message is your confirmation. The universe has been preparing something sacred behind the scenes, a release, a reward, a restoration, and now it's moving everything into place. Right now, the full moon is illuminating your second house, the part of your chart that governs finances, material security, and self-worth. At the same time, the sun is moving closer to your sign. That cosmic combination isn't random. It's a sacred portal. A turning point. And you are standing right at the threshold. Do you feel it? That quiet stirring in your chest? That strange sense that everything is about to shift even if you can't explain how? That's your spirit recognizing the frequency of change. That's your intuition hearing the whisper of something greater, something destined, something long overdue finally coming full circle. This is the season where things that once felt far out of reach, the right connection, the abundance you prayed for, the peace within your family are finally starting to come together. And no, it's not because the stars suddenly decided to favor you. It's because your journey, your faith, and your silent healing have created the energetic opening for it. You have done the spiritual work even when it felt like no one was watching. So now, heaven is responding. I want to take a moment to thank you deeply for being here. Your presence, your energy, your support, every like, every comment, every subscription to this space brings us closer together in the family we're building here at Miracle of the Sign. And I truly mean this from the depth of my soul. Your support makes it possible for me to share these messages, and to continue holding space for miracles, for you and for all who find their way here. And Scorpio, believe me when I say this, you are going to want to stay until the very end of this message. Because what the universe is revealing for you right now is bigger than anything you've been told before. It is timely. It is transformational. And it is tailored for your spirit. Before we begin, I want to invite you into this sacred space with me. Comment below, I am ready to receive soul-deep love, divine wealth, and peace within my family. Write it. Declare it. Let your words activate the alignment that's already been written in the stars for you. Let's begin. Scorpio, the energy we are entering now is not random. It is deeply layered, like the rings of a sacred tree, each one holding memory, growth, and divine timing. As we move closer to October 19th, the stars are aligning in a way that creates a rare gateway, one that allows both material abundance and soul-level love to arrive together. This convergence doesn't happen often. It's what I call a mirrored blessing, where heaven meets earth, and the heart aligns with the hands. The sun is nearing your sign, while the full moon illuminates your second house, the house of income, value, and stability. That alone is powerful. But when combined with the energetic shift within you, the result becomes a magnetic field for manifestation. This isn't just about receiving money or affection, it's about recognizing that both are natural extensions of your spiritual alignment. When you know your worth, when you love from wholeness, the world responds with open hands. The High Priestess appearing now is not a coincidence. She is the sacred keeper of divine wisdom, intuition, and inner knowing. Her message to you is clear: You no longer need to search outside for proof, validation, or rescue. Everything you need is already within. Your soul remembers what your mind may have forgotten, that you are already enough, and that abundance is not earned through perfection, but allowed through alignment. The Two of Pentacles adds a layer of reflection. It gently reminds us that real wealth is not just about having more, but about balancing what we have with who we are. Can you hold generosity and boundaries at the same time? Can you love without losing yourself? Can you give without collapsing into exhaustion? These questions are invitations to step into emotional maturity, because the more grounded your energy becomes, the more stable your external world will be. Then there's the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, a pairing that speaks of divine overflow. The Ace is the sacred opening of your heart, and the Ten is the long-term fulfillment of both love and legacy. Together, they suggest that as your emotional center softens and expands, your material world follows suit. This is not the universe rewarding you for being good, it's the universe matching the frequency of your open, healed heart. What does this mean for you in practice? It means that now is the time to consciously receive. Say it out loud each morning: I welcome all blessings arriving at once. Let it be your mantra. Not because you're trying to control the timing, but because you're declaring your readiness. On October 18th and 19th, I encourage you to perform a small act of generosity, something simple, from the heart. It could be as quiet as a prayer for someone in need, or as tangible as giving a gift or offering help without expecting anything in return. That gesture won't just help someone else see, it will open channels within your own energetic field to receive more. This is also the time to journal not just your desires, but your truths. What are you afraid to admit you want? What blessing have you unconsciously blocked because you didn't feel worthy of it? These are the doors that must be unlocked now, with honesty and tenderness. And if you've been praying for restoration, for a home, for stability, for a love that honors who you are, this is the moment to lift your eyes and begin preparing. Not in desperation, but in faith. Because when the soul says yes, the universe responds. And you, Scorpio, have just said yes. Scorpio, what you've gone through wasn't meant to break you, it was meant to reveal you. This next phase of your journey is not just about receiving abundance, as we explored earlier, but also about discerning truth. Because before we can fully hold what is real, we must let go of what was false. And sometimes, the most painful realizations come from those who once wore the mask of love. Energy never lies, but people often do, especially when they are disconnected from their own healing. Someone from your past tried to mirror you. They studied your language of depth, your intensity, your need for connection. They wore a reflection of your spirit like a borrowed garment, not because they truly understood you, but because they wanted to be close to your light. And for a moment, it worked. You may have believed that you'd found someone who could walk with you through the valleys and the mountaintops. But masks always fall. Not because you looked harder, but because your light makes it impossible to hide for long. This is the sacred law of energetic alignment. What is not truly yours will always fall away when you rise into your authentic frequency. In energy healing, we speak of cords and mirrors. This person may have entered your life as a karmic mirror, someone who did not come to stay, but came to awaken. You were not wrong to feel the connection. You were just meant to evolve beyond it. Their presence helped reflect back pieces of your worth, your longing, and your unresolved wounds. But now, it is not about what they reflect, it is about what you've reclaimed. There is a quiet strength in your soul now. You no longer bend yourself to fit into smaller frames. You don't shrink to be chosen. You don't water down your essence to make others feel comfortable. That is the true gift of this moment, clarity. And clarity, Scorpio, is a form of emotional liberation. This experience may have hurt you deeply, but it also activated a deeper intelligence in you. Now, you feel energy before words are even spoken. Now, you trust actions more than intention. Now, you lead with discernment instead of desperation. This is what emotional maturity looks like. This is what it means to become energetically sovereign. As you reflect on this connection, I invite you to transform pain into wisdom. Write down 3 things this person taught you, not just the harm, but the hidden lessons. Did they teach you where your boundaries were too soft? Did they show you what part of your soul still longed for approval? Did they reveal a pattern that you're finally ready to break? And then, if you feel ready, write them a letter you'll never send. Not because they need to read it, but because your heart deserves to be emptied of the weight it's been carrying. Let the words flow: anger, sadness, gratitude, grief. The paper can hold what your spirit no longer needs to. Forgiveness isn't about excusing what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the cycle of replaying it. It's about taking back the power that was never theirs to keep. It's about choosing peace, not because they deserve it, but because you do. The truth is, no one can manipulate a soul that knows its own value. And now, you do. The light has revealed what was hiding. And now, Scorpio, you are free to walk forward not with fear, but with unwavering clarity. Scorpio, after everything you've walked through, healed from, and grown beyond, there is a quiet shift happening inside of you, one that's preparing your heart to recognize a love that doesn't arrive in chaos, confusion, or emotional scarcity. This next chapter isn't about someone who completes you. It's about someone who meets you fully, completely, and soul to soul. You've already done the hard work of detaching from connections that mirrored your wounds. What comes now is a reflection of your wholeness. In the language of astrology, when a soul-aligned relationship is on the horizon, we see it first through the emotional houses, the 4th, 7th, and 12th. These are the sacred spaces where intimacy, spiritual contracts, and karmic clearing happen. With your ruler Pluto still weaving its slow transformation, and supportive aspects from Cancer, Pisces, Libra, or Aquarius now activated, the cosmos is guiding in a connection that feels like coming home, not because it's familiar in a painful way, but because it honors the version of you that has already outgrown the past. The presence of King or Queen of Cups in your current tarot spread is more than symbolic. It represents a person whose emotional world has been matured by experience, not fractured by it. Someone who doesn't love with conditions, control, or fear, but with consistency, emotional literacy, and grounded compassion. The star reminds us that this connection won't come from rushing or forcing. It will come when you are still enough to recognize it. The star is about timing, clarity, and hope. And Scorpio, hope is not naive. Hope is sacred preparation. This person is not showing up to fill a void. They're arriving because you've filled your own. You've returned to yourself, again and again, in the silence, in the ache, in the becoming. And now your energy is calling forward someone who doesn't want to own your light, they want to protect it with you. They are not here to distract you from your path. They are here to walk beside you on it. This is what energetic compatibility feels like, not a high or a plunge, but a steady expansion. Take a moment today to check in with your heart, not with longing, but with openness. Ask yourself honestly, what kind of soul do I want beside me in 10 years? Not what they look like. Not how they show up on paper. But how do they hold space? How do they respond when I am soft, or tired, or full of joy? These questions aren't meant to judge the past, but to clarify your future. Your clarity is the invitation. Your healed energy is the frequency that calls in what's aligned. And here's the beautiful part: you don't have to chase it. You only have to become the clearest version of yourself. Each day, even if just for 5 minutes, close your eyes and offer gratitude, not to a face or a name, but to the essence of the person you're now aligned with. Thank them in advance for showing up in truth, for matching your frequency, for choosing you without fear. And in doing so, you're not just calling them in, you're preparing your own energy to receive them without resistance. Love isn't meant to test your worth. Love, the real kind, shows up after the test is over. And Scorpio, you've already passed. Scorpio, everything you've endured, every financial delay, every unanswered effort, every door that seemed to close without warning was never a punishment. It was preparation. And now, the energy around you is shifting. The momentum is no longer stuck in pause. Something has begun to move forward in the realm of material restoration, and it is not just about money, it's about energetic return. You are entering a moment when what was once withheld is now finding its way back to you, because the frequency you are holding can finally sustain it. The current astrological alignments point to a pivotal financial recalibration. With the moon illuminating your second house and the sun drawing closer to your sign, the cosmic current is designed to awaken not only external abundance but internal alignment with what you truly deserve. The presence of the Nine of Pentacles in your reading speaks of earned independence, wealth that comes not just from effort, but from energetic maturity. This is not money falling out of nowhere, it's money that mirrors who you've become. It reflects the discipline, patience, and strength you cultivated in quiet seasons when you were growing in the dark, unseen. The wheel of fortune now turns in your favor. In numerology, the energy of the number 10 is powerful. 1 + 9 from October 19th equals 10, symbolizing a new cycle birth from the ending of the old. This is the wheel's promise, that what was once down must come back around. You may not be able to trace every blessing to a logical source, but you will feel the karmic balance. The debts, whether spiritual, ancestral, or relational, are being recalculated. And this time, they return with interest. Justice in your spread reminds us that financial restoration is often delayed, not denied. When you were kept waiting, it wasn't because you weren't ready to receive, it was because the structure that would hold your abundance had not yet been built. Justice doesn't just hand you what's fair, it gives you what is aligned. And alignment requires clarity. What do you believe you are worth? What story do you carry about money? Have you forgiven yourself for past mistakes? Have you released shame from what you once lost? This is your invitation to not only welcome abundance but to understand your new relationship with it. Now is the time to sit with yourself and reflect. What were the moments you felt most financially powerless? What did you learn? What patterns are no longer yours to repeat? Write them down, not as a record of failure, but as a declaration of wisdom. Turn every loss into a page in your guidebook. Let your past teach you how to receive differently. Set a financial intention for the rest of this month not based on fear, but on vision. Choose a number, a feeling, a goal, and spend at least 15 minutes a day focusing on it not through force, but through presence. Visualize how it would feel to be provided for. To feel peace when you open your bank account. To give freely without fear of depletion. Let this vision live inside your nervous system until it becomes familiar. Your energy is the soil. Your clarity is the seed. Your consistency is the sun. What is returning to you now isn't random. It's encoded in your timeline. It's the divine math of cause, alignment, and return. The moment you stopped chasing and began aligning, the gears began to move. What's coming is not a handout. It is your harvest. And Scorpio, you're ready to receive it with open hands and a grounded heart. Scorpio, the deeper we go into this unfolding journey, the more we begin to understand that healing is rarely linear. It moves in waves, it spirals, and sometimes, it brings people back from our past, not to hurt us again, but to offer the chance for something to finally be released. In this moment of your life, there is a quiet but powerful invitation to lay down the weapons you've carried in your heart, to soften the edges around old wounds, and to create space for reconciliation, not because the past was easy, but because your spirit is ready to be free. The energy of this time is calling forth an unexpected shift in the realm of family. Someone you were once deeply connected to, perhaps a parent, a sibling, or even someone who once held authority in your world, may return in a way that surprises you. This isn't about reliving the pain. It's about recognizing how far you've come. This person may have once tried to mold you, control your choices, or dismiss your emotional truths. You may have felt invisible in their presence, unseen or unheard. But now, life has humbled them. Not through punishment, but through experience. And whether they say it directly or not, their energy is different. Their heart is softer. And more important, so is yours. Astrologically, the influence of familial healing often shows up through fourth house transits, especially when the moon interacts with Saturn, Neptune, or Chiron. These placements stir old emotional foundations, revealing unresolved tension but also clearing space for meaningful connection. For Scorpio, who feels everything deeply and remembers in layers, this kind of healing isn't superficial, it's cellular. It lives in the body. It lingers in the silence. And when the time is right, it asks for acknowledgement. But here's what's most important to remember: forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean pretending things were never said or done. Forgiveness means choosing peace over pride. Choosing inner freedom over external validation. It means creating an energetic boundary that says, I no longer carry this pain as part of my identity. And that, Scorpio, is one of the most powerful choices a soul can make. Now is a beautiful time to take a gentle but intentional step forward. You don't have to make a grand gesture. Sometimes, healing starts with a quiet decision to send love even if it's unspoken. A simple message. A moment of blessing in your mind. A silent prayer for their well-being. This isn't about changing the other person. It's about shifting the weight on your own heart. Because you deserve to walk lighter. Let yourself breathe into this moment. Reflect on what still feels unresolved, not to dwell in it, but to gently release its grip. Ask yourself, what would it feel like to no longer carry this story? To no longer armor yourself every time their name is mentioned? to no longer define your strength by how long you've held the grudge. You are not the same person who was hurt. You are wiser, more grounded, and infinitely more whole. And now, you are being offered the chance to close a chapter not in bitterness, but in grace. There's something extraordinary about choosing kindness when it's not required. That is true sovereignty. That is true Scorpio power, not in resistance, but in conscious release. So if your heart feels ready, let the healing begin in whatever way feels safe to you. This is not about returning to the past. It's about releasing yourself into the future, unburdened and free. The family that once wounded you may never fully understand what they did. But your peace does not depend on their awareness, it begins with your decision to heal. And that decision is yours, here, now. Scorpio, if you've made it to this point in the video, I want you to take a deep breath with me, soft, slow, and intentional, and realize that you are no longer waiting for life to happen to you. You are awakening to the truth that you've been co-creating it all along. Everything we've explored, love that meets your soul, money returning from places you thought were closed, family healing unfolding in divine timing, it is all part of the same tapestry, and your energy has been the silent thread weaving it together. You are not just the recipient of change. You are the activator of it. So ask yourself gently, what would shift in your life if you truly believed that everything you've longed for is arriving all at once? How would you walk through your day if you trusted that love is no longer something you chase, but something that is drawn to the healed version of you? How would you handle money if you knew that it's not just a resource, but a reflection of the way you now value yourself? And who in your life are you finally ready to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you are ready to stop carrying pain that never belonged to your future? There's something incredibly sacred about the way the universe moves when you stop forcing and start aligning. You are now in that moment. Not a moment of waiting, but a moment of welcoming. You have done the inner work. You have faced the shadow, forgiven the past, and started choosing peace even when it wasn't easy. That is what has called in this next chapter. And it won't come with fanfare, it will come gently, steadily, like rain that nourishes the roots you planted seasons ago. I want to take a moment to thank you deeply for walking this journey with me today. Your presence means more than I can say, and every like, every comment, every subscription to this sacred space we call Miracle of the Sign brings this soul family closer together. It reminds us that we are not alone in our search for meaning, love, healing, and transformation. And it allows me to keep showing up to bring you messages that I hope feel like a mirror for your spirit. So tell me in the comments what part of this message resonated most with you. What will you do today to align your energy with what you've just received? Will you write down your financial vision, or maybe send love to someone in silence? Will you say aloud, I am ready for divine love, and actually believe it? Will you choose to forgive, or to finally open the door to what you've been asking for? Leave a comment below and affirm it. I receive my destiny with trust and love. Let those words anchor your energy. Let them declare to the universe that you are not afraid of the goodness arriving. That you are open. That you are ready. And if this video spoke to something deep within you, please like it, share your reflections in the comments, and subscribe to Miracle of the Sign. I am here every week to walk this path with you, not to give you answers, but to remind you that your answers are already inside you, waiting to be remembered. As we close, let the angel numbers 777, 1010, and 888 guide you, symbols of divine alignment, cycles completing, and abundant return. Let the shimmering silver around you remind you that you are no longer bound by debts, energetic, emotional, or financial. And may the deep indigo light that surrounds your aura now be a reminder of the wisdom you've earned and the frequency you're now living in. Scorpio, you are the shift. You are the signal. You are the moment the universe responds to. And this right now is your confirmation.